Hello, in this series of videos, I want to go over how to analyze a home mortgage scenario, figure out your monthly payments and how much interest you paid on the loan using Google Sheets. Now, a lot of this could be done similarly with Excel or Max Numbers, any other spreadsheet software, but I'm going to go through using Google Sheets since it's free as long as you have an internet connection. So before we get to the Google Sheets, if we look at our this example, imagine you have a dream home. The price is $390,000, but you've saved 10% as a down payment. So you could afford 10% down. You qualify for a 30-year fixed rate home mortgage loan with a 4.5% annual interest rate that is compounded monthly. So for part A here, we want to figure out what's your monthly payments. Before we get that, though, I want to write down the recursive sequence that models your debt. In our P0, this is going to be your initial debt or initial loan amount. And the house is $390,000, but we're going to take away 10% of that $390,000 that you're going to pay up front. That leads to $351,000. So this is your initial debt. And then I also want to set up the recursive sequence, or PN. This is going to be your debt, like this here, debt after n months. So we're going to model this sequence in Google Sheets, and we do that by writing out the sequence, P sub n depends on the previous month's debt. Your debt's going to change over time. Then the bank, or wherever you borrow this money from, the $351,000 is going to charge you 0.05%, 0.05%, but it's compounded monthly, so we're going to divide by 12, and we're going to multiply that by the previous month's balance. So think about this. This is the next month's balance, is the previous month's debt plus the interest the bank's going to charge. And then we're going to pay off that debt by subtracting D. And here, note down D equals your monthly mortgage payment. And this is what we need to figure out in this part A. Figure out what monthly mortgage will pay off the debt. So I want to note one more thing right here. We've got the initial debt, $351,000. All right, initial debt. And then one other thing I want to note down. This is a 30-year loan. So P sub 360 is going to equal 0. So this is just a note. I'll put this in parentheses, pay off debt in 30 years. Okay, so the end of the sequence, after 360 months, we should have 0 debt. So this is what we're going to model here in the spreadsheet. Let's see, I'm going to put this as a side-by-side. Excuse me. All right, so I want to enter this into the spreadsheet. So I'm going to, over here, write in months. This is your mortgage debt. In C, I'm going to write mortgage monthly payment. Now, in any spreadsheet software, since this cell ran over, you can always go in between the two cells, double click, and that'll automatically space out. Excuse me, so I'll keep the months first. All right, so for months, we need to, I'm going to start at the 0 month, and your initial debt is at $351,000. And months, I need to go all the way down to 360. Instead of typing in manually, I could highlight. So highlight all of these cells. I'm holding down on my mouse. So this is highlighted. And you should see a black or blue block on the bottom right. Hover over till you see a black plus sign. Click and drag down. And I need to get all the way down to 360. All right, I went a little bit too far. So what I'm going to do is highlight the rest of this and just click on delete in Google Sheets. Or you can always do right click and delete rows, because I just want to get to the 360 mark. And notice right here, so the cell B362, this is going to be your last debt. So the goal is to make this 0. The goal is to make B362 equal to 0. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure out how much you have to pay per month so that this goes to 0. So one little trick, which you can do in Excel or Google Sheets, any spreadsheet, is rename your last, all right here, maybe debt after 360 months. This just so I don't have to keep scrolling down. I could write an equals B362. And that'll then reference that bottom cell. So again, in that cell, I just typed equals B362. There's nothing in that cell right now, so that's why there's nothing right here. Okay, so now what we need to do is enter in essentially this sequence into Excel. So I'm going to write down the previous cell plus 0.045 over 12 times the previous cell minus that monthly payment. So in the cell, I'm going to start with equals. You could type or just click on the cell above, B2, and then plus 0.045 divided by 12 times B2, and then minus. Now I want to click this monthly cell payment, but I need to be a little different here. I'm going to go back here and write a dollar, type a dollar sign, C $2. So right here it's equals B2 plus 0.045 over 12 times B2 minus $C $2. Click enter. And so if I have nothing in the payment, your debt's going to go up. So once you have this typed, you could highlight just this one cell. This would be the cell B3 that you typed in the formula. Make sure you can see a black box or blue box in the bottom right. Hover over with your mouse until you see a black plus sign, and then actually at this point you could just double click. And it's going to fill in all the way down to the 360. However many months you scroll down on column A, that's how far down your debt's going to go. So notice right here, your debt has ballooned to $1.35 million if you pay nothing. And that just gets mirrored up here. That's all I did with the cell, typing the equals B362. So we could do a guess and check. What if we pay $1,000 a month? Notice your debt goes down, but that wouldn't be enough. Your debt still goes up. Maybe $2,000 a month. And that actually would be too much. Your debt after 360 months is negative. So we need to figure out how much you need to pay per month to make this equal to 0. So to do that in Google Sheets, I'm going to click on add-ons. Add-ons. And if this is your first time using Google Sheets, you might have nothing here. So you want to click add-ons. And we go back. So it's on the top, add-ons. And we could add, let's see, the goal seek. You can either use Goal Seek or Solver. So click on Add-ons, and in the upper right, if you type in Goal Seek and enter, it says Manage. Just click OK to download that. It's free. So I'm going to go Add-ons, Goal Seek, Open. All right, and then we should have this here. We're going to set this first one. What are we trying to set? Click on here and delete that, and then type on the debt after 360 months. Oh, and then click Use Selection. We want that to be equal to 0, and we're going to change cell monthly payment. So click on the cell you want. We want a D2 to go to 0. And how do we do that? By changing your monthly payment. I'm going to click on Run. And notice right here it's going through its algorithm to figure out how much you need to pay to get this to 0, or as least close to 0 as possible. And depending on your internet connection, internet speed, this might take a couple seconds, but not too long. Notice the debt's getting closer and closer to 0 on the column D2. And what it's doing, Google Sheets, it's running through an algorithm to get this as close to 0 as possible. And it looks like it's going to be about 1778, 40 or so cents to get this to be 0. Notice this is going to keep going. At some point, we don't care what happens after the second decimal because we're looking at a money amount, how much you have to pay per month. So 1778 and about 46-47 cents. Once this gets pretty close to 0, I'm going to click Interrupt right here. And here we have our monthly mortgage payment. So it was 1778 and I think 47 cents. We don't want to round up to the nearest cent. There you go. So 17, that is your initial monthly payment. All right, this video has gone on to past 10 minutes. So I'm going to answer the rest of these questions in a second part.